What's up, guys? Bumlock here. Today we're going to talk about how to get the Lucid Nightmare Mount, okay? I'm going to give you a step-by-step guide on how to exactly take the paths, do all the little mini games, all that sorts of stuff. I don't know how people figure this stuff out. It's actually kind of incredible, but there's a nice written guide on MMO Champ, but I'm going to take you through just so you have a nice visual, nice step-by-step. I'll put up little notations too in the video, that way you can kind of follow along if you don't want to listen to the audio. But this will be everything that you need to know to get this mount as quick as possible. I say give yourself about 4 to 5 hours to get this, but let's get started. So first thing you want to do before you even get the first note is you want to go to your auction house or wherever. If you're a tailor, it'd be a little bit easier, and get a Shadoweave mask, okay? This is a required item to complete one of the steps, which we'll talk about later. So this pattern drops from dwarves in the Searing Gorge. You can craft it if you want, but for me, I just went to the auction house and I bought it, okay? It's pretty expensive right now just because this is such a popular item, you know, this early on. It'll probably get cheaper later, but for now, if you want to save some time, just go ahead and buy it. I also picked up a couple invisibility pots, and we'll talk about that later as well. Okay, so once you got your Shadoweave mask, go ahead and head to Dalaran. We're going to go into the Curiosities and More shop inside the new Dalaran. Up the stairs and to the table on the left, there's going to be your first note. Okay, so clicking on this note is going to read, it begins in 2104,059 with the most pleasing sign. These letters will not always rhyme. Okay, this is translated into the release date of Ulduar, which is where we're going to head next. Okay, go ahead and whatever fastest way you can, head to Ulduar. All right, you can do this on any difficulty, it doesn't actually matter, but you want to make your way to the second boss. Once you get inside, you want to go ahead and kill the first boss, make your way to the Deconstructor boss, which is XT002 Deconstructor. In his room, there's going to be a bunch of piles of scrap all around the room if you're familiar with Ulduar. The front left, closest to him, pile of scraps is going to have a rusty lever, okay? This lever is going to activate the next part of the series for you. Go ahead and make it up this pile. You kind of have to go around the back, but you know, it's kind of annoying, but whatever. So once you activate this lever, a nice little grid is going to spawn. Okay, actually kind of cool to look at. It kind of spawns up, you know, little by little. Looks kind of cool, but there's a lot of them. Okay, now I'm going to throw up the design that you need to create on this grid up on the screen right here. And this is what you got to do. So clicking on one of those little globes or little runes or whatever is going to turn them green. Okay. You need to activate all these colors in a certain kind of pattern. Okay. This took me about 10 minutes to do roughly. So not too bad, but it is a little bit tedious. But the pattern has to be exact. So just make sure that you're counting your blocks as you need to. I start from this side. I count 7, leave 7 open, and then I make a green row of 6, okay, and then just go from there. But the pattern's up on the screen, however you see fit to do it, go ahead and do it. Once you get done, there's going to be 4 runes that spawn in the middle with your next note to your next clue, okay. You want to make sure that you're clicking on all these notes as well, otherwise you cannot get to the next step. But there it is, right there. There is your next clue, okay. Clicking on this note, it's going to give you some text. 1,000 years imprisoned, surely it weighs on the mind. Okay. They deciphered this, the people that figured this out, they deciphered this to, it was Thun inside AQ40. Something have to do there, so that's what we're going to go ahead and do. We're going to make our way to AQ40. Now, you may realize that I'm getting through this kind of quick. I actually recorded all of this at the start. And I killed all the bosses, did all the first like 4 or 5 steps, and then my game crashed at a certain point, which I'll tell you about later. But go ahead and just make your way through AQ40. Once you kill all the bosses, make it all the way to the very end, you'll get to Cthulhu's boss room. Don't actually need to kill him. You can kind of just walk right past him. I don't know if you've ever explored over here or actually done it when it was current, but you'll know that these guys with the quest over here, you're going to walk past them, and there's going to be this stairway that kind of leads to nothing. Well, up on this little altar here, there's now going to be a little orange goo that you can, or larva that you can activate, and it's going to prompt a mini game. Okay, it's going to give you a buff that you can right click off if you are done or whatever. It's bejeweled. There's no other way around it. So there isn't really a pattern or a technique or like something that is going to win you the game faster, in my experience. It's just plain Bejeweled, okay? So after enough time, you'll go ahead and spawn the note. I already had it there because, again, I said I cleared this already. So once you finish a Bejeweled game, just keep playing it. If it doesn't spawn, it'll happen eventually, okay? Go ahead and click on this note. That'll tell you deeper than deep awaits your seat, okay? They deciphered this to tell us that we have to go to Deep Home, okay? And now this is the part where you need your mask, okay? This is the important part. So go ahead and head to Deep Home. I'm going to show you my full path to the cave here. What we're going to do is we're going to find this cave. Inside the cave, there's going to be this little fossil you click on, which will take you to a little secret room. And on the chair in that room, there's going to be the skull that you need to interact with, okay? But you can't click the skull unless you have your Shadoweave mask on, okay? So what I did is I went to the room, and there was a bunch of people there, and I didn't have the Shadoweave mask already, and it was a big mess. And there were so many people in there, it actually crashed my computer and corrupted my first recording file, so I had to do this all over again. Anyways, so you're just going to go to the most northeast corner of the map on the ground. You're going to see that big hole. You maybe be already familiar with Deep Home. And there it is. There's the big cave right there. Go ahead and head inside. So once you actually navigate through the cave, you're going to run into this fossil on the ground. Make sure you equip your Shadoweave mask beforehand. And it actually has to be the item. You can't transmog it onto an item and wear that. It actually has to be the item. So you actually have to either craft it or buy the item before you get here, okay? Once you're in this room, depending on your server, your location, there may be a crap load of people in here. If there is, this is where the invisibility pod's going to come in handy. It'll make everyone disappear, but we'll show you that in a little bit. But this is what it should look like. There should be a little chair with a nice little skull on it. Once you have the mask on, you should be able to interact with the skull. Doing that will cause like a big AoE explosion. Clicking on the skull will reveal the note. Once you click on the note, it'll give you some text, the shaded, where the shaded delegate may appear. Okay, I guess that's a reference to a mob that spawns inside Gnomeregan. Okay, so now let's talk about this room for a little bit. You may be on a server where it's very populated, okay? It may look like this, okay? People were totally trolling last night, just stacking up on the chair, making it super hard to click. This is me trying to zoom in and click this stuff actually crashed my computer, corrupted my video recording file, so it's kind of unfortunate, but I was able to come back and complete all the steps again. If your room does look like that, using the invisibility pot will make everyone disappear. The only thing that would prevent you from clicking the skull and the note after that would be guild banks on the chair, which is unfortunate and trolly, but it happened. So go ahead and make your way to Gnomeregan out in Dunmurrow, kind of far, but whatever, if you're Horde at least. Now what we're going to do in this one is we're going to make our way to the launch bay inside this dungeon, and there's going to be a set of consoles that we need to input a certain series of numbers into, okay? There is going to be a clue on the wall when we reach these consoles that's going to tell you exactly what you need to do. Well, not exactly. There's a little bit of clues that are in binary, so the geniuses that translated this somehow figured this out. It's it's incredible. But you want to make your way through here. Just kind of follow the maps to the launch bay, and once you make it to the launch bay, you're going to jump down again, and you want to get in between the hallway, get into the hallway in between the engineering bay, or the engineering lab and the launch bay. And then once you get through there, you'll see the consoles off to the right, okay? But just make your way through here. Again, I'm showing you the full path just for people that may not be that familiar with Gnomeregan like myself. You know, if you played Alliance or if you played Horde, you probably didn't run this dungeon too much, so here we are in the launch bay. I'm going to go ahead and jump down. Check your map if you do get lost. It is there to help you. But we're going to go ahead and jump down here, make our way into that hallway. We're going to have the consoles. Now again, the code that you need to put into these consoles, how it works is each console has a value. It's already set to 1, and you have 2 options when you click on a console. You can either push the lever up to make the value go up, or push the lever down to make the value go down. Now, you never actually need to make it go down. It won't go down past 1 or to the next row of numbers. So you just want to make it so it shows the number, which I'll put on the screen right here. That set of numbers that you need to make the console say is 1222176597. So you're going to go to the first console, leave it alone. Second console, you're going to go up 1. Third console, you're going to go up 1. Fourth console, you're going to go up 1. Fifth console, you're going to leave alone. The next one, go up to 7, and so forth. So just keep pushing the levers up until it matches the code. Once you get to the end, you'll do just one last time, and then all the consoles will close, and your next note will appear. Okay. Now, once you click on this note, it says games and toys are left behind when you awaken screaming. Okay. This was interpreted to be a clue that will send you to Val'sharah. Make sure you click on the note. That way you can head there. Go ahead and head to Val'sharah right here on the map. As you can see, there's this little hut. Okay. Inside this little hut, there is a little globule that you can click on, which will spawn Il'gynoth. He'll say a bunch of stuff, and you'll get your next mini game. Okay, this will be the same thing like just it happened in AQ40. It'll pop up on your screen, and you'll need to decipher this mini game. Now, the objective of this is to make sure that there's no lines that are intersecting. So clicking on one of the circles will replace itself with the next one you click on, and you just want to keep moving these around until there are no lines that are red. Once they're all blue, you're good to go. Okay, a little bit tricky. It took me a couple minutes to figure this out, but just keep at it. You'll eventually figure it out. There's a nice little pattern to it. But yeah, once you make all the lines blue, that means they're no longer intersecting, and you will be complete. It'll do a little explosion, and you'll have your next note on the ground. Okay. Now, this will bring you to the 7th note, which will send you to Kun-Lai Summit. Okay. It says what you seek is buried within. Now, this is going to probably be your most time-consuming part of this whole process. You're going to get sent to Kun-Lai Summit. There's going to be a nice little cave there with a bunch of statues. But at the foot of the statue, there's going to be this urn that you're going to click on. Click on the urn will give you a little prompt, and it's going to send you into the Endless Halls, which is a completely random generated maze. I think it's random for every single player, so unfortunately I can't give you like an exact path of where to go. You're just going to have to kind of figure this out as you go. What I do suggest, or at least what I did, which kind of helped me a little bit, was I opened up a Google Sheet and I just made a starting point, which was the first room, and then I just kind of notated on the sheet which direction I went and then which direction I chose in that new room. Okay. Some people just like to brute force it. There's a lot of people talking in general chat, you know, they were kind of complaining, but essentially you're going to get into a room. You'll have a couple options in each room. Going into a new room will be an exact replica of the room, but either two things can happen. There's either going to be a rune on the table or the torches are going to be lit. Okay. Now, when the torches are lit, you're going to be able to click on them and collect the fire that they have in the torches. You then need to bring that fire back to the room where that has the corresponding color, and you need to do this 5 times: red, yellow, green, blue, and purple. Okay, so you're gonna grab the fire, you're gonna douse the rune, and then you're gonna move on. Okay, now it's good to keep track of, you know, because if you find a color and it took you 20 rooms to find the fire, you need to be able to trace those 20 steps back in order to douse the rune with that color. Okay, you're going to end up in a situation where you find the green rune but you have the red color, and this is very time consuming. The map will kind of help you, but because the rooms loop when you hit the edges, sort of like Pacman, you could eventually just, like, if you run always left, you're gonna, you know, keep looping. It's gonna be unfortunate. So you'll eventually get through. Again, it took me actually a couple hours to do this. I'm sure mapping it perfectly would probably be the quickest way, so I suggest doing that. But once you actually douse all the runes, running through one more room will lead you to the end, and you will have your final note. Okay, your final clue. All right. Once you click on this, it will tell you that the way is now open to the greatest secret never told, a fitting end to your journey. Okay, this is going to send you to Karazhan in the Forgotten Crypts. All right, it's going to be to the left of Karazhan in Deadwind Pass. There's going to be a little tunnel there into the Forgotten Crypt. You're going to traverse through here. There's really only one path, and they have little signs that tell you where to go. Be careful when you go down here. There might be some PvP going on, but you're going to make your way through here. Just kind of follow the signs that says like loot ahead or this way or whatever. You're going to make your way into this room, and there's going to be a giant pile of bones, and at the top of the giant pile of bones will be your loot and your mount. So some fireworks will go off, and congratulations, you have your mount. Boy, what a journey. It wasn't too, this was really fun. I really hope that they continue to do this in the next expansion, put in little tricks like this. I love mount collecting, as you guys probably already know from my channel. So this is really awesome. Really happy to, you know, the mount is cool, but doing this kind of puzzle stuff, you know, Legend of Zelda-esque kind of puzzles, it's really fun, man. So that's it. Congratulations on your mount. If you have any questions, make sure to comment below. I'll try to answer them. There's a nice written guide. I got all this information from the written guide on MMO Champ, so it really helped a lot. But I figured a nice visual, you know, some people are visual learners. You know, some people don't like reading and following little directions and stuff. They just like to see where they got to go. So that's what we're gonna do here today. Okay. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank everyone for sticking around to my channel as well. I hope to have some new content out soon. Make sure to stay tuned for some Destiny 2 content as well. I played the beta. It was super awesome. I hope you guys played it too. But yeah, some things have changed. I guess just kind of a little update. My guild that I was guild leading, we decided to basically disband, call it quits. We killed 5 of 9 in Mythic, 2 Sargeras, and just with the lack of people, lack of attendance, it was kind of hard to recruit around that, especially when, you know, you need some pretty supreme healers for Sisters and Mistress and, you know, all the bosses after that. It just felt kind of tough, so we decided to go our own separate ways. So I'm not actually raiding on my Warlock at the moment. I went and leveled this alt rogue that you're seeing here on the screen. I'm having fun with it. I'm just doing some PvP, just playing kind of casual. It just feels really nice. So not really sure what I'm gonna do yet. Maybe I'll join another guild. Maybe I'll just, you know, PvP. Not really sure yet, but I for sure want to make some more content for you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you all so much for the support. Everyone that talks to me in game and comes and visits my stream. You guys are the best, man. I really appreciate it. Anyways, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and make sure to stay tuned for some more content. I'll try to be covering any kind of these cool little things that happen in the game. Just because I think they're so awesome. But anyways, thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.